Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tank Be Chopping, and I'm back with another haircut tutorial. So I know I said haircut tutorial, but as you can see, my guy here, he ain't got no hair on top, and that's perfectly fine. This is my boy Mario. I've been cutting his hair for a while. I actually went to high school with this dude, man. We went to school together, so we've known each other for a good minute. And so he came in yesterday, and he was like, hey, I always hook up his beard, so I was like, hey, let me record this so I can get some footage for a beard trim, because I feel when I do a haircut and beard trim, I always like speed up the beard trim process, so I wanted to do it this way, that way y'all can actually see what I do for my beard trims. Alright, so jumping into this beard trim, I got my number 3 on my clipper, and as y'all can see, I'm just going over the whole beard. I'm taking all that beard down to a number 3 guard, and that's going to be the longest his beard is going to be. So we're going to take this 3, go all the way through the beard, and you want to make sure you're cutting against the grain. So as you can see, certain parts of the hair grows differently, so you want to make sure you're going across the grain, or I'm sorry, against the grain and across the grain, just to make sure all that hair is down to that desired length. Alright, so now that that is done, I have my number 1 guard on my clipper. My lever is all the way open, and what I'm doing here, guys, I'm just going over the mustache, bringing the mustache down to a 1.5. Most people don't like for the mustaches to be too long, so that's why I did it with a 1.5. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually fading the beard into, the hair on top, or the baldness on top, whatever you want to call it, the bald hair on the side, whatever. So I started off with my clipper open, I set in the section, and then I adjusted my clipper closed the more I moved up. So as you can see at the top of that beard, or where it fades in, it's it's really light, and it looks like it's fading in already. Now I'm taking my number 2 guard, and I'm starting off about the jawline, what I'm saying, and I'm coming up, as y'all can see, at like a slight angle, and I'm coming up more towards the top of that beard, and I'm doing the same thing with my 1.5 guard open. I started off a little higher than what I did with my number 2 guard, and I'm just bringing all that down. So basically I'm doing, I guess it would be down fading, even though I'm fading up, but y'all see I started with a bigger guard, and I'm just working my way down. So I did the 1.5, and now I'm coming in with my 1 guard lever open, and I'm just attacking that bulk that I see right there, that dark line, and then I close my lever, and now I'm going in with my 1/2 guard, and basically just cleaning up the rest of this fade in the beard. And it's kind of hard to explain how you fade in the beard. I mean, it's the same exact way, but it's just backwards, what I'm saying? So I hope y'all understand. I hope by watching it, y'all understand it a little better. And I'm doing it this way, I started with my number 2 down pretty low, and then that 1.5 pretty low, because he likes the fade in his beard to look slightly stretched. So I'm stretching it out, what I'm saying? I'm not just fading it in at the sideburn area, I'm bringing it all the way down to his jawline. Now I'm cleaning that top part up with my trimmer, and then I'm going to go over it with my Uno shaver, just to make sure it's down to that desired length, because he is going to be shaving his head on top. So, we got to make sure it's down to the shave on the side. Alright, now to actually lining up the beard. I'm starting off at the back of the beard. I'm just trying to make that line, I don't want to say as straight as possible, because towards the bottom, most of the time, the hair comes, it wants to grow like coming towards back the ear. Coming towards the ear, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. So I still basically want to follow that shape slightly, but I do want to straighten it out and make it look a little crisper. Alright, so now I'm moving on to the top of the beard, and how I do this, guys, as y'all can see, what I do is I like to create a point right there more towards the mustache area. So that's one of my points right there, and I'm making that nice and sharp. And you can see I'm going over it a couple times, making sure it looks nice and sharp. And then I create a point towards the sideburn area, more towards the hair area. And then what I do is I just connect those 2 points and try to curve the beard. So as you can see, it doesn't look very clean in the middle of the beard. You know what I'm saying? So as you can see here, that's what I'm doing. I'm actually connecting those 2 points. That way this line is nice and crisp, and it gives that, it gives that nice curve that everyone wants on their beard. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, A lot of times when I'm doing a beard, I don't make my lines as sharp as possible with that trimmer, because most of the time when I go over it with that blade, that's when I really get into making it as sharp as it can possibly be. So this is basically, I want to say, I guess kind of like a rough draft of the beard, and then I just go back and I really like ice it out with that blade. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm just, you know, refining the fade of this beard with my lever open and closed, just adjusting that lever as needed, making sure it fades in nicely. And now what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be lining up the mustache and the inside of his goatee area. And this is pretty self-explanatory. You basically just line that up based on what they have and what they want. Some people have more hair to work with and some people don't. So like I said, it just really boils down to what the client wants and what you can do. And he doesn't like his mustache too thin, so I'm basically just cleaning it up a little bit. Want to clean it up above the lip, obviously, and then make sure it's nice and crisp above that.
Damn it, Tito.
And as y'all can see here, I'm really using like the corner of that trimmer. And that's how you get, you know, really detailed into these tighter areas. You know what I'm saying? You got to use the corner of your trimmer. That way you don't take off too much hair and mess up the shape that you're going for. Alright, so now we attacking the bottom of this beard, and this where I'm starting off. My first initial guideline is right about that where the Adam's apple is. I'm creating the line right there, and I'm just gonna follow that line all the way over. However, sometimes you have to adjust the way the shape looks, so I am gonna come up a little bit more towards the side. And the reason why I'm doing that is he has like a thin patch of hair, towards that left side of his beard. So I have to, I guess I could leave that longer, but the way his hair grows, as y'all can see, it like wants to grow up, underneath the chin area, well, by the neck area. I hope y'all can see what I'm talking about. So I have to make sure I line that up nice and to where it doesn't look like it's balding or it's missing any hair. So I have to go up a little bit more in that area and then basically just line it up to where that looks like it's supposed to go into the bottom of the beard. And when it comes to doing beard, guys, everyone's beard is going to be different, obviously. Just the way their hair grows, the way some people's beards are more patchier than others. So you just got to really just adjust. And there's really not no one way to do beards. It's really based on what you can do and what the client's hair allows you to do. Alright, so moving on to the opposite side, guys. Y'all know how we do it. What we did to the one side, we got to do to the other side. So I'm doing the same thing. Obviously I started with my 3 guard as I debulked it. Then I did my 2 guard, and now I'm with my 1.5 guard. And I'm just fading up. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking all that hair down. And then after this, I'm going to use my 1 guard with my lever open. And then my 1 closed. And I skipped. I didn't even use my 1/16. But this is just my clipper open and then closed. And then my trimmers. And then my shaver. And for the most part, the beard looks faded in. Obviously I can refine it if needed to make it match the other side. And we're gonna do the same thing when it comes to lining it up, guys. We're lining it up on the back of the beard, and we're still following that shape, towards the bottom. It does come back a little bit, as y'all can see better on this angle. So I wanted to follow that. I don't want to make it 100% perfectly straight. And then the top of the beard, y'all know how I do, guys. I'm basically trying to keep it where it has, keep a nice curve, but yeah, I'm also trying to keep it full at the same time. And as y'all can see, I got that brush in my hand, and I'm continuously brushing hair away and brushing the hair down, because y'all know we want to make sure the beard lays properly and we see what we're actually cutting, and we want to make sure we're brushing away all that extra hair that's coming off every time we cut something. Now what I'm doing, guys, I'm doing the opposite side of the bottom of the beard. So as you can see, I'm just trying to match this whole, basically just trying to make this bottom beard come together. I'm lining it up as straight as I can possibly do it to where it looks like a full beard and it looks nice. So I got that hot towel on my client. I lathered them up with the hot lather. I got the hot towel on them, wiping off all that lather, and then we're gonna shave them and make these lines really pop. And then after this, we're gonna add some enhancements. We're gonna make this beard really just pop and look icy, man. So So all we're doing here, guys, is, we're doing razor work. We're going over everything we did with that trimmer, making sure these lines is nice and crisp. We want to make sure we're stretching that skin back, and it lessens the chance of you nicking your client. I'm not saying you won't nick your client, because even I still nick my clients every now and then. It happens, if a barber tells you he don't ever nick his clients, he probably doesn't use the blade. But anyway, like I said, guys, we want to make sure you're stretching that skin. And this is how I do my clients underneath the neck area. I go, I come up like that. I feel it gives a nicer, closer shave. However, you have to be careful with the way the hair grows, because if you come against the grain, or if you come up like that the way I did and the hair is growing a certain way, you can't nick them. So you want to make sure you're very careful when you're doing that. And then moving on to the top of the beard, guys, same thing. I'm just stretching that skin, and I'm trying to make these lines as sharp as possible. Remember I said earlier, it was kind of like a rough draft. Like, yeah, it looked decent, but when I hit it with that razor, I try to make it look as sharp as possible. So I'm really stretching that skin and really trying to get these lines like super, super sharp. And this part right here, the goatee area, I know for a lot of people, it's hard. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily hard, but it's more difficult because it's a smaller area and you got that blade. But same thing, guys, you want to make sure you're stretching that skin and you're using just like the edge of the blade and the corner of that blade. But at the same time, you want to make sure you're holding the blade properly, because if not, obviously you will nick your client, and that's something you don't want to do. So I know when you look at this beard from this angle, it doesn't look like it's like curved, or it doesn't look like icy right there. But trust me, guys, it is. It's just the angle that it's at. Like, y'all gonna see it in a minute. And I know it seems like I'm going over the same area a good amount of times, and that's because I am. Like I said, I like these lines to be super sharp, so I go over it a good amount of times and make sure they're sharp. And this possibly could be one of the reasons why it takes me a while to do a haircut and beard trim. But I just think, like, especially for this client right here, he ain't got no hair on top, man, so we got to make sure this beard looks super nice. And I'm not saying he don't got no hair on top trying to clown, but I'm just being honest. Like, I don't got no hair on top either, you know what I'm saying? And the bad thing about me is I ain't got a beard, and he has a beard, so I have to make sure we make this beard as icy as possible. So with that being said, your boy's moving on to them enhancements. As y'all can see, I got my Sean Cuts Hair enhancement card. I'm using my Tune 45 compressor, and I'm using I'm actually using my Slay sauce on this enhancement right here. And as you can see, that beard is looking pretty icy. Y'all smash that like button if y'all think this beard looks good so far. And we're just doing the same thing to the opposite side, guys, hitting it with them enhancements. And y'all can see how far I'm holding my gun. And I do it like that because if I hold it closer, it's going to leave it too dark and it's going to look too fake. And y'all know, guys, that's something I don't really preach, and that's not something I want to do, is give like a fake hairline. I want to just not necessarily cover up, but I want to go over the lines that I did just to make them look sharper with these enhancements. Alright, so now we're even taking this to the next level, and I'm using that barber pencil. And the only reason why I'm doing this, guys, it just makes it look even sharper. And once y'all see it, y'all gonna know, like, man, this beard does look super sharp, you know what I'm saying? And all this is just giving more contrast from the color of the hair to the color of the skin, so it just looks a little more sharper. So I initially drew them lines on there, and all I'm doing is fading out that line with my trimmers. And I know right there it looks weird, but that's obviously because it's not faded out. But once you fade this line out, it looks super, super sharp, and it looks super nice. I think that's just what I think. And I think my client thinks the same thing, because every time I give him the mirror, he's like, man, Tank, that's super sharp. And it is, you know, it looks good. Alright, so once that is done, I do go over it with the razor one more time. And I know you're like, man, this is a bit excessive. But I do this because, like I said, it helps fade away this line, but it also makes it look sharper. So as you can see right there at the top of his beard, this line looks super sharp. And it just makes his haircut pop even more. Or not haircut, but it makes his beard trim pop even more. Shout out to my boy Tito Beach. Y'all make sure to go subscribe to his YouTube channel one time. Alright guys, so check it out. This is how my boy Mario came into the shop looking. His beard needed to be fixed up. And this is how my boy left the shop. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this beard trim in the comments, guys. If y'all like this haircut or if y'all like this beard trim, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, subscribe one time for your boy. Y'all know how we do it. And I really hope y'all appreciate this beard trim tutorial. I know I'm always doing haircut tutorials, so I said, you know what? Let me just do a strictly, you know, just a beard trim tutorial. So I hope y'all like this, guys. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all just stay tuned to your boy. I know I got more content coming. I appreciate y'all, YouTube. Until next time, let's go.